Semi Prabhu, please listen to Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Who will start?
Gaurav Shakti Prabhu can start as he has Harinam afterwards.
Yes, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanatmilandasyam Gananjana Shalakayam Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagadatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shilada Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Lada Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cham Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaham Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Chinamine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Goravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Haribo, Prabhu, you're compassionate.
Shima Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Ita Gaura Premanandi Hari Haribo.
Libo.
So compassionate, Prabhu. You're a great singer, Prabhu.
Oh, thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo.
Okay, this is chapter 11.
11:49, right? Okay. Mate vyata macha vimudda bhavom Trisvarupam golami medam Vyapeta vipita manha punasvam Tadeva me rupam idam prapashyam. Ma, let it not be, te unto you, vyata, trouble, ma, let it not be, cha, also, vimuda, bhava, bewilderment. Drisva, by seeing, rupam, form, golam, horrible, idrik, like this, mama, my, idam, as it is, vyape, tabihi, just become free from all fear. Prita manaha, be pleased in mind, punaha, again, vam, you, tat, that, eva, thus, me, my, rupam, form, idam, this, prapasya, just see. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing these horrible features of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, just right, sorry. Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he needs to not be afraid of killing his grandfather. when they tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly. Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now, Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is much interested in the universal, is not much interesting in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. A devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipping feelings, thus he wants to see the two hands or the four hands Krishna forms. So he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can I read one more, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Sanjaya Vacham Ityarjunam Vasudevas Shvakam Rupam Darshayama Ashvashayamasa Chabitamenam Bhutva Puna Somya Vapur Mahatma. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, Iti thus Arjunam unto Arjuna, Vasudeva, Krishna Tata that way, Uktva saying, Swakam, his own, Rupam form, Darshaya Masa, shown, Bhuyaha, again, Ashvasa Yamasa, also convince him, Acha also, Bitam, fearful, Enam, him, Bhutva, Punaha, becoming again, Samya Vapuhu, beautiful form, Mahatma, the great one. Translation: Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, while speaking thus to Arjuna, displayed his real forearm form, and at last he showed him his two-arm form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana, but when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-hand form of Krishna, but since he asked to see four hands, you scroll too quickly, Prabhu. Four hands form, he also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his two hands form. The word Somya Vapu is very significant. Somya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Krishna. Thank you very much. I want to leave now. Others can read. Thank you.
Prabhu.
Vancha
Thank you so
Kalpatarubhyacha,
much,
Kripa
Mr.
Sindhubhya Vacha,
Prabhu.
Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Patitanam
Kalpatarubhyascha,
Pavanabhyo
Kripasinubhya
Vaishnavibhyo
Patitanam
Namaha.
Pavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo
I
Namaha.
would,
Thank you so much, Gaura Shakti
uh,
Prabhu, for association.
yeah,
Thank you.
I'm very sorry. I would love to just stay, but I have to go and do Harinam Sankirtan. I haven't do yet, so thank you very much, dear Prabhu, for your precious association, and keep reading. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Sami Prabhu, can I read?
Can I read, Prabhu? Oh.
Yeah, you can read Laban Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Uvacha Tristvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Chanaradana Idanim Asmi Samvritaha Sachetaha Praktim Gataha. Synonyms. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Drishtva, seeing Idam, this, Manusham, human being, Rupam, form, Tava, your, Saumyam, very beautiful, Janaradana, O chastiser of the enemies, Idanim, just now, Asmi, I am, Samvritaha, settled, Sachetaha, in my consciousness, Praktim, my own, Gataha, I am. Translation. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, my mind is now pacified, and I am restored to my original nature. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Here the words Manusham, Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna to be an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the four-handed Narayana form? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and misguides the reader by claiming that it is the Semi Prabhu. It is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators. Text 52. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Darsham Idam Rupam Drishtwan Asiyan Mama Deva Api Asya Rupasya Nityam Darshanam Kankshinaha. Synonyms. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Sudur Darshanam, very difficult to be seen. Idam, this, Rupam, form, Trishtan, Asi, as you have seen, Yat, which, Mam, of mine, Devaha, the demigods, Api, Asya, also this, Rupasya, of the form, Nityam, eternally, Darshana, Kankshinaha, always aspire to see. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, the form which you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are even seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the word Sudarshanam is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penance, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation, etc. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see that has already been explained. Still beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna as two-handed man is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidences in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna. Prabhu, isn't Lord Shiva an expansion of Lord Krishna? Like, is it an expansion or an incarnation?
Expansion, yes, Prabhu.
But why does he desire to see the Lord's universal form if he's actually the expansion of Krishna?
Arjuna also desired to see the universal form.
But Lord Shiva is God.
But he's not the same as God. He's God, but he's not God.
Yeah, like he has his own, I don't know how to call it. What do you call this? He has his own prescribed duties of annihilating the world, like, right?
Yes, Prabhu, he's in contact with the mode of tamas, but Krishna is not in contact with the material mode.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, have evidences in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna. They even waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, but that is an ordinary person. Krishna is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva in his two-armed form. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also confirmed that he is not visible to the foolish persons who deride him. Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by himself in Bhagavad Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternality. His body is never like a material body, but for some who make a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita or similar Vedic scriptures, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher. But he isn't an ordinary man, but something that even though he was so powerful, he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature, he assumed Hare Krishna, Luvesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Drona Prabhu.
Hare
Please accept
Hare
number.
Krishna, Luvesh Prabhu, Dhanra Pranam, Hare Krishna, Dhanra Prabhu, Dhanra Pranam, Guru Shishra Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much
Sorry,
for
Prabhu,
joining.
for joining late.
Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
I mean, actually, I was talking with Smita Krishna Das Prabhu, so it became somewhat late. Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
I will continue, Prabhu. I will read.
No, now Laban
I'm
Prabhu is reading. He can read now. He can finish. Laban Prabhu can finish. After that, you can read.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
assumed a personal feature attached to material nature. This is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. Thus, some think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form. According to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. To hear about Krishna from authorities, that is the actual Vedic process. And those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority. And by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear, as we have several times discussed. Krishna is covered by his Yoga Maya potency. He is not to be seen or revealed to anyone and everyone. Only but one to whom he reveals himself can he be seen. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. For one who is a surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can go down, Prabhu, can have his spiritual eyes open and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyam Sundara. Shyam Sundara.
Shama Sundara.
Shama Sundara. Okay.
Shama, Shama, Shama. Will you continue, Prabhu?
Livesh Prabhu wants to read Prabhu.
That was Drona Prabhu.
Hari,
Yeah,
Bol.
Drona Prabhu, you can read. Yeah, you can read.
Yeah, Drona
But
Prabhu,
Prabhu, I don't know how to read this
Try,
local.
try.
Okay. Nahana, Nahaham, Vedare, Naha Tapasya, Na Deha, Na Dehanena, Na Chedaya, Chejaya.
No, you do one thing. You read word by word. No need to think about the tune. Like this. Naham, Veder, Na, Tapasa, Na, Danena, Na. Like that.
Okay.
Sejaya. Like that. Right.
Tapasya evam vido drastastum Tradastavayam Yasya Mama Yeta. Prabhu, next translation. Sin. Yeah. Never. Aham, I. Vedaha, by studies of Veda. Naha, never. Tapasya, by serious penance. Na, never. Denena, by charity. Danena, by charity. Na, never. Saha, also. Jivaha, by worship. Prabhu, is Sakasya, is it possible? Evam, Vida, like this. To Drustasyam, to see. Drustavam, seeing, see, you are Amami, Yata has. The form which you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penance, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by this means that one can see me as I am. Purport. Krishna first purport. Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and Nandana in a Devaki and Vasudeva in a four-handed form, and then he transformed himself into the two-handed form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or who are devoid of devotional science. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of speculation or out of mere academic interest, Krishna is not easy to understand. Nor is nor is to be nor is to be understood by the person who is officially goes to the temple to offer worship. They make their wish, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is Krishna. As he is Krishna. So Krishna can be understood only through the part of devotional service, as explained by the Krishna himself in the next verse. भक्ति भक्तेह अनन्यमये अनन्याः सख्या अहम एवं विदो अर्जुन जानातुं दृष्टेन सह तत्वेन Paravestunam cha parantapa. Bhakti by devotional service. They but Ananmeha without being mixed with the fruitive activities or speculative knowledge. Sakyasa possible. Ahamai evam vidaha like this. Arjuna, oh Arjuna, jan jan to to know dhrutam, to see tatvena in fact pravar pravartistenu and to enter into cha also parantapa. Oh mighty Arma. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Prabhu, right, Prabhu. Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explains himself this in this verse. So, unauthorized commentaries who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by the speculation process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in the 400 form and at once charged himself into the 200 form. It is clearly stated here that no one can see him. Those who are, however, are very experienced students of Vedic literature can understand about him from the Vedic literature in so many ways. There are so many ways, there are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the unauthorized lecture. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. As far as the charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is the beneficent to humanity. Lord Chaitanya was approached by the Rupa Goswami as the most Mushifinant, sorry, Prabhu, can you say this? Mushifinant man of the
Munificent.
charity, munificent man of charity because love of Krishna and which is very difficult to achieve was distributed freely by him. And if one worship is prescribed in the temples in India, there are always some statue, usually of Krishna or Vishnu or Krishna. That is the chance to progress. For the beginners in the devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is very essential, and this is confirmed in the Vedic literature. One who has unflinching devotional service for the Supreme Lord and is directly directed by the spiritual master can see Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. For those who does not take personal training under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word "to" is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. The personal forms of Krishna, the 200 form and the 400 form, are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjuna. The 400 form is Narayana and 200 form is Krishna. They are external and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. The very word Sudarshan, meaning difficult to see, suggests that no one saw the universal form. It suggests that among the devotees there was necessity of showing it. The form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, because in the future when one represents himself as the incarnation of God, people can ask him to see his universal form. Krishna changes from universal form to 400 form of Narayana and then own his own natural form, two hands. This indicates that 400 forms and other forms mentioned in the Vedic literature are the emanations of the original 200 Krishna. He is the origins of all emanations. Krishna is the distance even from those forms and not to speak of impersonal conception. As far as the 400 form of Vishnu are concerned, it is stated, Prabhu, once again, it is stated clearly that even the most beneficial identical 400 form of Krishna which is known as Mahavishnu, who is lying on the cosmic ocean, and the form whose breathing so many in them innumerable universes are passing out of and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one should consequently worship the personal form of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is eternity, blessed, and the knowledge. He is the sources of all forms of Vishnu. He is the sources of all forms of incarnations, and he is the original Supreme Personality as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In the Vedic literature, it is stated that the supreme absolute truth is a person. His name is Krishna and is sometimes descend on this earth. Similarly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a full description of all kinds of uh, um, incarnations of the supreme personality of Godhead, and there it is said that Krishna is not an incarnation of God, but he is the original supreme personality of Godhead himself. Krishna through Bhagavan Swayam. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Mata, Mata Paramtapa, there is nothing superior to my form or as the personality of Godhead, or the Godhead Krishna. He also says, where elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Aham idaro idi Prabhu, up, Devam. I am the original of all demigods, and after understanding Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, Arjuna also confirms this in the following verse: Param Brahma, Param Vid, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Parama Bhavam. I am fully understand. I now fully understand that you are the supreme personal of Godhead, the absolute truth, and that you are the refuge of everything. Therefore, the universal form which Krishna showed to Arjuna is not the original form of God. The original is the Krishna form. The universal which is with its thousands and thousands of heads and hands is manifest just to draw the attention of those who have no love for God. It's not God original form. The universal form is not attractive for pure devotees who are in love with the Supreme, who are in love with the Lord in a different transcendental relationships. The Supreme Godhead exchanges transcendental love in his original form of Krishna. Therefore, to Arjuna, who has intimately related with Krishna in Prabhupada, friendship, and this form of a universal manifestation was not just a pleasing, rather it was pure. Krishna, who is constant comparison of Arjuna, who is constant comparison of Krishna, must had, have had transcendental lives. He was not an ordinary man, therefore, he was not captivated by the universal form. This form may be seen wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitful activities. But to persons who are engaged in the devotional service, the 200 form of Krishna is most real. Prabhu, next slogan.
Prabhu, I'll just join back in 2 minutes. Huh?
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, 1 second. Mata karma karna mata paramo mata bhakto sangha parajata nivrihaha sarva bhuteshu yah saha mama yeti pandava. Mata karma karta. Engaged in the doing my work. Mata parama. Con, con, Adhering me, the Supreme Matabhakta, engaged in my devotional service, Sangha Vrajata, freed from the contamination of previous activities and mental speculation, Prabhu down down. Nirvaha, without an enemy, Sarva Bhuteshu, to every living entity, Yaha, one who, Saha, Mama, into me, Yadi comes Pandava, son of Pandava. My dear Arjuna, who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of the previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, Christianly comes to me. One who wants to approach the supreme of all personality of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and to be intimately connected with the Krishna personality, the supreme personality Krishna, must take this formula. As is stated by the Krishna himself, Therefore, this verse is concerned to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditional souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who does not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand this spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the supreme spiritual personality, and to teach one to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, here in this verse, which clearly explains the process by which one can attain the success in the spiritual activity, devotional service, as far as work is concerned. One should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna consciousness activities. No work should be done by any man except in a relation to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One can be engaged in the various activities, but one should be attached to the result of his work. But results should be done for him. For example, one may be engaged in a business, but transfer that activity into Krishna consciousness. One has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of business, then Krishna should be the enjoy profits of the business. If business is in the possession of thousands and dollars, and if has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This work for Krishna, instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna. He can install the deities of Krishna and arrange for the deity service, as is inclined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is Krishna karma. One should be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna. One should also accept one should also accept as prasadam, put the remnants of the offering to Krishna. If however one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one should engage himself in the cleaning the temple of Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man has Christianly amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sort tulsi plants because tulsi leaves are very prominent and very important, and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna desires that one offers him either a leaf or a flower or a little water, and he is satisfied. This leaf is especially refers to the tulsi. So one can saw tulsi leaf and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples how one can engage in the working of for Krishna. The word Matam Parama refers to one who considers the association of Krishna in supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person does not wish to elevate it to higher planets such as moon or sun or heavenly planets or even in the highest planets of the universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to spiritual sky. And even in the spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with the merging into the glowing Brahma Jyoti influence. For he wants to enter into the highest spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka, Goloka, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Vrindavan. He has full knowledge of that planet and therefore he is not interested in any other planet. As indicated by the word Madhabhakta, he is fully engaged in the devotional service, especially in the nine process of devotional engagement. Hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of Lord, offering prayers, carrying out of the orders of Lord, making friends with him, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage in all nine devotional service uh, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage in all nine devotional service or eight or seven or at least one, and this will surely make one perfect. So, the, the term Sangha Vajata is very significant. One should disassociate himself from persons who is against Krishna. Not only are the atheist persons against Krishna, but also those who are not attracted to fruit, who are attracted to fruit activities or attempt of mental speculations. Therefore, the pure form of devotional service is described in the Bhakta Rasamata Sindhu as follows. Ananya Bisa Sita Sunamaya Jana Karmada Anavratam Anukulena Krishna Anu Shilam Bhaktira Uttama. Uttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to be execute unloyal devotional service, he must be freed from all kinds of material contamination. He must be freed from the association. Prabhu, he must be freed from the association of the persons who are addicted to fruitful activities and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association from the contamination of material desires, Prabhu, one favorably cultivates knowledge of Krishna, that is called pure devotional service. Anukulasya Anukulasya Sangakalpa Pratikulasya Vrajanam. One should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kamsa was the enemy of Krishna from the beginning of Krishna birth. He planned in so many ways to kill him, and because he was always unsuccessful, he always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, and while sleeping, he is always Krishna conscious in every aspect. But the Krishna consciousness was not favorable, and therefore, in spite of his thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon, and Krishna at last Krishna killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately, but this is not the aim of pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation; he does not want to be transferred even to highest planet want to transfer even to highest plan is Loka Vrindavan. His only object to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said that he has no enemies. How is this? A devotee situated in the Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all problems of life. He has a personal experience in this, and therefore he wants to introduce the system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. There are many examples in the history of devotees of God risking their life for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorable example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was he is crucified by the non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India, there was many examples, such as Haridas Thakur. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness and it is difficult. A Krishna consciousness person knows that if a person is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbors from all material problems in such a way pure devotee is engaged in the service of Lord. Now, can we imagine how merciful Krishna is to those who are engaged in his service, risking everything for him? Therefore, it is clearly that such persons must reach the supreme planet of living this body. In summary, universal form of Krishna, which is temporarily manifestation, and the form of time which delivers everything, and even the form of Vishnu, 400 form have been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of original Vishwarupa or Vishnu or Krishna. Krishna is the original form of Krishna, of forms. Thus, these are the hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, non-form of a Krishna is very important. Sorry. Non-form of Krishna is very important, but the original form, 200 Shamasundara, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attracted to the Shamasundara, the form of Krishna, is in a love from a form of a Krishna and in a love and devotion can seem always within the heart and cannot say anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and pure. That's the end of Bhakti Vedanta purport of the to the 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of universal. Hare Krishna. That's all. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry, Jogesh Prabhu. I took so much time.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna. Jai. Prabhu, Jogesh Prabhu, forgive me. I took more time to read
it's fine. It's okay. We enjoyed hearing your
because
translation.
Prabhu, I mean, I just previous only I completed my Bhagavad Gita. While reading this sloka, I thought, oh, it's 11th chapter, right? Even Arjuna was terrified when he saw the tangible Vishwarupa of a Lord. Yeah, I remember some words.
This one?
Very nice. Thank you for reading, Prabhu. Now maybe Luvesh Prabhu can continue.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
Where's the new PDF with the italics, yo?
Oh yeah, is it not this one? Yeah, it's not.
No. You delete the other one.
I thought
This is the deleted, right?
why how it's here again.
Karthi Prabhu will be happy to see it.
I'm sorry.
Karthi Prabhu, you will be happy to see this new italics version of the.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I sent a demo to Sammy Prabhu. Of course, some things are not italicized. That's why I'm reading everything from start to end, so I can spot very easily the words and phrases that are not italicized, and then manually italicize
You
them.
know editing as well, right? Video
Of course,
editing.
yes, Prabhu, I do, but I don't engage in that because it's not like my. It's not exact. I'm not a fan of video editing, but I can do it.
Hmm. That's nice. I'll go.
Yes,
What
Prabhu.
skill you don't have?
Yes, Prabhu. I can technically do one thing for Sami Prabhu, though. I can generate some of the parts from the Ritvik as it is video and send it to him, and then from there he can make the reels.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that,
Yeah. Oh
But-
wait, no, you have Pranjal Prabhu's software. You can just use that to generate the clips.
oh it's not working, Prabhu. It's not
Oh no.
glitchy.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it for you.
Yes, Prabhu. Because I
Just
tried
let me know. Yeah.
to load clips, but every time it downloaded the full video, so
Okay.
problem with it, but sometimes it works.
Okay, I'll send you the clips then. Just let me know when you begin the first clip and I'll send it to you. Just let me know on what Telegram or something.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I started playing.
So,
Oh,
Karthik, how do you like this picture
good done that.
on the Bhagavad Gita?
The picture, is it?
Yeah, it's the same as the hardcover now.
Yeah, very nice. Very good, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's good.
Prabhu, you need to make some thumbnail for that Ritvik series, and we need to maybe keep the same kind of thumbnail for the whole one type of video.
We'll do it. No worries. Just let me know.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So sorry for going away from the topic, but this incident which happened, right?
Yeah.
It's very offensive, very angering and all. It's good. Now people know. Those who are serious in ISKCON, they know the true face of ISKCON.
Yep. That's a fact.
And they'll be naturally more inclined to check out the Ritik system. And those who are like genuinely intelligent, because they just put a light on this issue now. Even from ISKCON devotees will be checking both sides now.
But they will go to ISKCON Bangalore, Prabhu.
Even then, it's better than ISKCON. And
Yeah.
those who are even more intelligent will come to us.
Yes, Prabhu. But now they
That's
will.
why we are releasing the video.
Now the less intelligent
Hare
will
Krishna.
the name. They will see that okay, this is ISKM, this is ISKCON. They will see ISKCON is the real name. I won't even look at this ISKM. They will run to ISKCON or like this.
Yeah.
Prabhu, even though they run, even though run for the ISKCON Bangalore, but they will not get that much pure, what will say, sorry, Prabhu. They will not get that much pure instructions like we have.
Yes, correct.
Sorry for interrupting. I have some words stuck.
No, it's a fact actually. Even though they go to ISKCON Bangalore, they will not get the same training as in ISKCM. But only the most intelligent, not even intelligent, the most person with the most sincere desire will come to ISKCM. Yeah, I'm not at all intelligent, but I have a
I think
desire to
the
serve
basic
Prabhupada.
common sense they will get to know.
Yes.
They will take ISKM. Even they think with basic common sense also.
Yeah, but see, even in ISKCON Bangalore, there are many intelligent persons, We cannot say
Yeah.
Madhu Pandit Prabhu is not intelligent. Come on.
think should
Madhu Pandit Prabhu, Chantilapati Prabhu, they're all very good managers and everything. They're intelligent, no doubt about it. But the desire is, along with Prabhupada, do something else. Something more, some material comforts they also want.
Well, that's
Similarly-
understandable. That's actually understandable why they have that, because the name is still connected with the rest of ISKCON. You see, they're still connected with other ISKCON leaders and everything. So naturally, they will have these kinds of things going on. But as soon as they really separate fully, then they will also very soon, they'll come under the guidance of His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, and they will learn how to really detach. So
But
I get it.
let's see.
Prabhu, I have one question. Even though if they surrender to His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, what is the guarantee that in future they will not what will say, they will not dislocate this way? I mean, they will again fall into the same way.
They won't, because Sundargopal Prabhu will explain to them very nicely. No? In
Yeah,
fact,
but
anyway, the principle in ISKM, you see, principle is don't do anything that's not authorized. It's that simple. It's not rocket
mm,
science. The only reason they're doing this right now is because of their direct connection with ISKCON. As
okay.
soon as they detach fully, then
Mm,
yes, they will come under agreement. No doubt about it.
mm. But Prabhu, I have still doubt on them, like ISKCON Bangalore, Mumbai, because I have seen so many videos that they disobeyed Srila Prabhupada, and as well as they are doing some kinds of nonsense thing which Prabhupada strictly said no. But I mean, how can we expect them to follow Sundar Gopal Prabhu, His Grace Sundar Gopal
Yeah, they
Prabhu's?
won't follow now, maybe in the future.
Future.
Of course, I don't
Yeah.
like to speculate. Maybe in the future.
See,
Yeah.
I'm not going to speculate. I mean, I don't know if it's speculation, but I will quote Madhu Pandit Prabhu saying that this was never a property dispute to even begin with, because he was literally ready to give up all the properties only on the condition that all ISKCON centers accept the Ritvik system of initiations and put into writing by the Supreme Court. That's it. So if technically if we ask them to join
Mm,
IS or merge somehow in a way that uh,
mm,
protects ISKN's legacy, then
mm.
they should agree to it. Now they will agree to it, because their business is not to argue on property; it's to argue simply on following the Ritvik system, and that already anyway we are doing. So at some point we want to merge,
Mm.
at least when they completely detach and
I
all these
don't
materials
know.
go away.
I
Then
don't
yes,
think as long as Madhu Pandit is leading, I don't think as long as that will be, they won't connect with
No,
IS.
you see, our devotees went there. Our devotees went there. I believe it
yeah,
was
yeah,
Rajikishore Prabhu and others. And
yeah.
we gave them the same proposal. We are Ritik. Why don't we work together? But they
Mm.
were very envious and they rejected the proposal and they didn't want Sundar Gopal Prabhu to be the head.
So in the beginning, they
So
were
many things.
under us. They were together. Everyone were together in the beginning, but they left, and we called, and they didn't answer the phone. They didn't. They ghosted totally our seniors in everywhere. No answer. Total cold line.
Yes.
So this is what happened.
Mm.
They once ran
These-
away. They don't want to be in any contact. They want to, if they want to be in contact with us, they want us to listen what they say. They won't come to listen to Sundar Gopal Prabhu. That won't happen, I think.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what,
Yes,
see,
Prabhu.
more than intelligence, the desire matters.
yeah.
The desire. See, you can be very intelligent. But if your desire is twisted, then what's the point of the intelligence? So they can be intelligent, no doubt about it. But that's what they want. Like even Prahlad Prabhu has told a few times. They want Prabhupada.
Mm.
Same time, they want some material, some material comforts. The Brahmachari ashram, you go see there. Come on. You go see their Brahmachari ashram and come see ours. And over there, the Brahmacharis don't wash patras. They only preach, they only collect donations. And the
Okay.
brahmacharis have many people who are cleaning their ashrams. Everything is very, very comfortable for them. Over here, what? We have to clean the toilets, we have to clean the patras, we have to do everything,
Mm.
no? I mean, Drona
Yes,
Prabhu
Prabhu.
was there for 1 week, he knows. In HKM, it's not like that. In HKM,
Yes, Prabhu.
they
It's
are
totally
treated with
different.
it's completely different, fully different, you know?
Like
So,
they treat
yeah,
like they were in house, giving all facilities. Prabhu,
yeah,
it's not good, Prabhu.
it's not good. How they become humble then?
Mm. For example, Prabhu, I come to temple rarely. I mean, for 2 to 3, 4 months. Even though I'm only coming for the service of the Lord. But even I saw in ISKM sorry, not in ISKM, in HKM as well as ISKCON, they just do some sort of service and say, I did, unless you continue. This is nonsense, Prabhu. Even when I went to ISKCON Hyderabad, I saw some people are preaching regarding how to do this like this. Okay, they completed and they went off regarding that patra while they were giving prasadam. They did not pick up. Some people outside, like watchman, these people will there right at entrance. They came and picked that patra to down. I was like, seriously, they have so much manpower. Why can't they use that? Oh, even in Hyderabad, ISKCON also, they are building another temple. They have so much manpower, but they are not using it properly, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu,
See,
but
like I said, the only reason their consciousness is still partially like that is because of their connection with other ISKCON centers that are not following the Ritvik system. You see, they still have
Mm.
some close connections with them, because see, even in the Mahabharata also, it is very clear when Bhim was situated on the other side of the river, He was cursing Yudhishthir Maharaj, and then when he came to the other side, when Yudhishthir Maharaj asked him to do so, like, you come to the other side, we'll discuss this matter with a cool mind. And by the time Bhim crossed the other side, Yudhishthir said, "So what did you want to tell me? Why were you so angry?" And then Bhim said, "I don't know why I was angry. Actually, for some reason I was angry. I don't know. This I was saying it was your fault. It was not." And then Yudhishthir Maharaj explained that the reason Bhim got angry was because on that side of the river, when Bhim was yelling to Yudhishthir, that side, that side of the river had dog eater family. So that contamination kind of got, not contamination, obviously pure devils cannot get contaminated. But my point was that the lesson in that was to see that place can contaminate. See the consciousness, that's the lesson. So if we are in a place where there are only pure devotees, you see, then the consciousness becomes more clear. So I have no doubt that when ISKCON really does become fully Ritvik, then Madhupanda also will understand. You see that, yes, we were partially materialistic because of our connection with them and so on. So it's natural, it's not, I don't necessarily blame them, because even his
No. Wait. Are they still in connection with ISKCON though?
No, but because they're still retaining the name ISKCON, they're
No,
still
the name is fine, bro. The name is okay, but are they in connection with them?
Connection in the sense, not like in dealings. I mean, in diplomatic dealings, they always are. You see, they have to. In fact, they were fighting the whole legal war, the whole legal case in their midst.
Yes.
You'd see, they were in their midst this whole time, 20 years. Obviously, that consciousness is going to be a little bit contaminated by their association like that. It doesn't have to be direct association, but you see, even through court cases like this, you have to deal with them like that.
Yeah, that's why the primary point of the fall down is that they stopped listening to His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu,
Yeah, of course, that was the
That's
consequence.
and this is always like the symptom, If they were still listening to Sundar Gopal Prabhu, then maybe things would have been much more different.
Yes. That I agree fully.
And not only that, Vaishnava Aparadha also, Yeah, many Vaishnava Aparadha also, Prabhu. I mean, if you've spoken to Nityanand Prabhu, he will tell you. He was in HKM before. He will tell you. They have offended so many devotees. Once there was one of our devotees, and he was just speaking with them and saying something. They don't even address Sundar Prabhu as Prabhu,
Oh, wow.
like that. That much puffed up.
Wow.
I'm talking about the top people in ISKCON Bangalore, HKM, And the way they treat devotees is not at all proper. So they have committed a lot of Vaishnava aparadh, bro. See, for example, if Sundar Prabhu calls you, and you don't pick up the phone, out of mistake, that is different. Some mistake, whatever, but on purpose, you hang up, or isn't that a Vaishnava aparadh?
Yes, bro, for sure.
And yeah, they did that many times, and then when our devotees went also, they don't even call Sundar Prabhu by his name, Prabhu. They don't even use any rest. How they can understand Prabhupada's movement? How they can be posing as big people? You don't even have a respect for a senior devotee. How you can understand Prabhupada's teachings, Prabhupada's words? Of
Fact.
course, all this contamination will creep in. The moment you offend the Vaishnavas, either you will become materialistic or you will become Mayavad.
And Prabhu, when the prasadam they distribute in the
Of course.
Bangalore is
Yeah.
not offered, and they say that speculative. I mean, they just they just gather some people and just say some words and just say that. I mean, the words they said, they just repeat, and they're just making some sort of materialistic. They are creating materialistic in the temple.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
talking about.
believe them. Okay,
Correct.
sorry for interrupting.
No,
I
I was
believe.
just talking about the root
Mm,
cause. This is all the symptoms,
mm,
Like you have fever, because of that you have headache, you have leg pain, body pain.
yeah.
The root cause is the fever. Symptoms
Mm,
is headache, body pain. So symptoms is Akshay Patra doing this, Dream
mm.
Foundation,
Uh,
unauthorized festivals, and
Wow.
not training devotees properly. But the root cause is this. The root cause is that they don't obey Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Mm.
That's what
Prabhu, I strongly
offense.
believe that. Yes,
Mm.
Prabhu. I strongly believe that temple is the place where you clean where you will clean your dust accumulated in your heart and mind, and where you
Yes.
associate with the devotees, and where you can be forgiven for the mistakes which you did for so many back long years. But in Bangalore, in habits, they are just treating like a normal place where they can like home. What is this, Prabhu? This is really rascalism. Sorry to speak like this, but I personally experience and sing because when I came to temple, it was really wonderful. But when I go to the same temple now in Hyderabad, habits, it will not feel like that. And the association
Yes.
also is not good. And I had once association with one Prabhu. He was saying like he had some doubts on me, like while buying kanti. I mean, what? Will you eat non-onion garlic? No, no. I said no. I mean, he was asking all kinds of some stupid questions. I said, oh, I don't eat Prabhu. Even I am in a group. I'm following this. Chanting 16 hours like this. So, okay, why don't you come on Sundays? You should associate more and more. I said, Hare Krishna, and just came to my home. Oh, really? Temple is not a normal place, Prabhu. I consider it as a place where we can where we can share our happiness, sadness, everything. I mean, sorry, Prabhu. I'm just stuck some words. Tiger Prabhu, you can continue.
No, anyway, even I'm talking some words. Let's read Prabhupada books.
Yeah. Hare
Let's
Krishna.
first make ourselves good. What's the point discussing about HKM, this guy, that guy? If we ourselves are not pure, then
Hmm.
what's the point? How we can please Prabhupada?
Yeah,
So
that's
let's read Prabhupada books, huh?
yes, Prabhu.
And get our hearts purified. Hare Krishna.
Jai Prabhupada.
Yeah. Jai Prabhupada. Happy to see you in the temple this time. Come soon, huh? Before you used to come
Prabhu,
every 3-4 months. Now every
yeah,
week you should come. If you're
every month
serious.
by Krishna's will.
Yeah. You pray for it and you you pray to the Lord. He will help you definitely. Just like he helped you
Prabhu,
this time and last time. You
yeah,
come.
by the way, are you coming
When?
to Radha Yatra?
Of course. I called you, so I'm not coming. Huh? Of course I'm coming.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada.
You come, huh? Come.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes,
Neil
Prabhu.
Prabhu also, I asked him to come.
Yeah,
Let's hope.
Neil Prabhu, I guess I will talk after tomorrow with Neil Prabhu regarding this. Okay, Prabhu, let's start reading our beloved Louis Prabhu's reading, so we should not disturb.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Lewis, Prabhu, please go ahead. Huh? Sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry for
Forgive me.
interrupting, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai
Hare.
Prabhu.
It's okay, Prabhu. It's okay. So, new chapter, devotional service, chapter 12, text 1. Yeah, sorry, were you saying something? Okay, you want me to control, is it? Okay.
1 second.
Okay, fair enough. It's okay. I can control. Thanks.
Yes,
This is
Prabhu.
actually a good feature. You should enable for everybody.
Prabhu, I need to mute myself 1 second.
Yes, for sure. No problem. I'll just continue reading.
Yes, Prabhu, but don't move the mouse because I need to mute myself.
Okay. But now I lost the control. Okay, no, never mind. All right. Arjuna Vacha Evam Satata Yuktaye Bhaktastam Paryupasate Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamah. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said, Evam, thus, Satata, always, Yuktaha, engaged, Ye, those Bhaktaha, devotees, Tvam, unto you, Paryupasate, properly worship, Ye, those, Cha, also, Api, again, Aksharam, beyond the senses, Avyaktam, unmanifested, Tesham, of them, Ke, who, Yoga Yoga Vittamaha, the most perfect. Translation. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect? Those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Purport. Krishna has now explained about the personal, the impersonal, and the universal, and has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. Generally, the transcendentalists can be divided into two classes. One is the impersonalist, and the other is the personalist. The personalist devotee engages himself with all energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalist engages himself not directly in the service of Krishna, but in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. We find in this chapter that of the different processes for realization of the absolute truth, bhakti yoga, devotional service, is the highest. If one at all desires to have the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must take to devotional service. Those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personalists. Those who engage themselves in meditation on the impersonal Brahman are called impersonalists. Arjun is here questioning which position is better. There are different ways to realize the absolute truths, but Krishna indicates in this chapter that bhakti yoga or devotional service to him is highest of all. It is the most direct and it is the easiest means for association with the Godhead. In the second chapter, the Lord explains that a living entity is not the material body but is a spiritual spark, a part of the absolute truth. In the seventh chapter, he speaks of this living entity as part and parcel of the supreme whole and recommends that he transfer his attention fully to the whole. In the eighth chapter, it is stated that whoever thinks of Krishna at the moment of death is at once transferred to the spiritual sky, Krishna's abode. And at the end of the sixth chapter, the Lord says that out of all the yogis, he who thinks of Krishna within himself is considered to be the most perfect. So, throughout the Gita, personal devotion to Krishna is recommended as the highest form of spiritual realization. Yet, there are those who are still attracted to Krishna's impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence, which is the all-pervasive pervasive aspect of the absolute truth and which is unmanifest and beyond the reach of the senses. Arjun would like to know which of these two types of transcendentalists is more perfect in knowledge. In other words, he is clarifying his own position because he is attached to the personal form of Krishna. He is not attached to the impersonal Brahman. He wants to know whether his position is secure. The impersonal manifestation, either in the material world or in the spiritual world of the Supreme Lord, is a problem for meditation. Actually, one cannot perfectly conceive of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. Therefore, Arjun wants to say, what is the use of such a waste of time? Arjun experienced in the 11th chapter that to be attached to the personal form of Krishna is best because he could thus understand all other forms at the same time and there was no disturbance to his love for Krishna. This important question asked of Krishna by Arjuna will clarify the distinction between the impersonal and personal conceptions of the absolute truth. Text 2. Sri Bhagavan Vacha मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः. Synonyms. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Mai unto me, Aveshya, fixing, Manaha, mind, Ye, one who, Mam, unto me, Nitya, always, Yuktaha, engaged, Upasate, worships, Shraddhaya, with faith, Paraya, transcendental, Upetaha, engages, Te, they, Me, mine, Yuktatamaha, most perfect, Mataha, I consider. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, He whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be most perfect. Purport. In answer to Arjun's question, Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect in yoga. For one in such Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities because everything is done by Krishna. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. Missing full stop. All right, text 3 to 4. ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. Synonyms. Ye, those, to, but, aksharam, which is beyond the perception of the senses, anirdeshyam, indefinite, avyaktam, unmanifested, paryupasate, completely engages, sarvatra, gam, all pervading, achintyam, inconceivable, cha, also, kutastham, in the center, achalam, immovable, dhruvam, fixed, sanniyamya, controlling, indriya gramam, all the senses, Sarvatra, everywhere. Samabuddhayaha, equally disposed. Te, they. Prapnuvanti, achieve. Mam, unto me. Eva, certainly. Sarva bhuta hite, all living entities' welfare. Rataha, engaged. Translation. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Purport. Those who do not directly worship the Supreme Godhead, Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process also ultimately achieve the supreme goal. Sri Krishna, as it is stated, after many, many births, the man of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing Vasudeva is all. So when a person comes to full knowledge after many births, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna. If one approaches the Godhead by the method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. It is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna. Otherwise, there is no perfect realization. Often there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders unto him. In order to perceive the supersoul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to understanding that the Supreme Soul is present everywhere. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only, not the outer covering. But for the common man, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult. Text 5. क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. Synonyms: Kleshaha, trouble. Adhikataraha, more troublesome. Teham, of them. Avyakta, unmanifested. Asakta, being attached. Chetasam, of those whose minds. Avyakta, unmanifested. A, certainly. Gatihi dukkam, progress is troublesome. Deha vadbihi, of the embodiments. Avapyate, achieve. Translation: for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Purport: the group of transcendentalists who follow the path of the inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis, and persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called Bhakti Yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yogi and Bhakti Yogi is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the same goal, is very troublesome. Whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since that time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind, which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna and nirguna, of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those mailboxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation, which we may find somewhere, which is not authorized by the post office, will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form, which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent and all-powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotee, just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. So for a devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literatures as the Upanishads, and they have to learn the language, understand also the non-perceptual feelings, and they have to realize all these processes. This is not very easy for a common man. A person in Krishna consciousness engaged in devotional service simply by the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, simply by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. There is no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking where am I? There's no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path with the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalist, without any risk, trouble, or difficulty, approaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated that if one has to ultimately surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the surrendering process is called bhakti, but instead takes the trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of realization, because there is uncertainty in the ultimate result. Now, a living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he must accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspects of his original nature, but the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga devotion service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also becomes a source of trouble, because he cannot give up the idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. Every living soul is partially independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of his spiritual, blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity, the process is of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is the danger of turning to atheism. Thus, this process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already expressed in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So if anyone
Hare
like
Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, I would like to continue. Thank you for reading. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Nice passion for the impersonalists, huh?
Yes, that's a fact.
Next verse, coming to. Yeah. Especially in this age, it cannot be done. Even in the other ages, you can practice. Still, it's difficult. In this age, not at all. You know. Okay.
Facts.
6 to 7, is it?
Yeah.
ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यासमत्परः अनन्यन् योगेन मम ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषाम् अहं समुद्धार्था मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भावामि न चिरात् पार्थ मयि अवेशिता चेतसाम्. Synonyms. Ye, one who, tu, but, sarvani, everything, karmani, activities, mayi, onto me, sannyasa, giving up, mat paraha, being attached to me, ananyena, without division, eva, certainly, yogena, by practice of such bhakti yoga, mam, onto me, dhyayantaha, meditating, upashate, worship, tesham, of them, aham, I, samudhartha, deliverer, mrityu, that samsara, material existence, sagarat, from the ocean, Bhavami become na chirat, not a long time. Partha, O son of Pritha, Mai unto me, Aveshita fixed, Chetasam, of those whose minds are like that. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Purport. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord. If not, then he will render service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can only be appreciated by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that he will without delay deliver a pure devotee thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process. And others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. Hmm. He does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Purana, this verse appears. Nayami paramam sthanam achiradi gatim vina garuda sankhadam aropya yatecheham anivaritah anivaritah. The purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once riding on His bird carrier Garuda and at once delivers the devotee from this material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expertly swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is very easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Nara Naya, what is it?
Narayaniya.
Narayaniya, okay, I misread, huh? Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampatihi purushartha chatushtaye taya vina tad apnoti naro narayana shrayah. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the personality of Godhead can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is a specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other processes of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami maschaha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness that will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely, how do you pronounce this? Futilely.
Futilely.
Futilely, as it? Okay.
Yes.
Futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. Text 8. Mhm. Mai eva mana adashta.
Prabhu,
Mai.
can I read?
Yes, Prabhu,
Yes,
sure.
Prabhu, please
Yeah,
do.
please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mayev manadhatva my buddhim nivesaya nivasisyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na samdayah. My unto me eve certainly manah mind adhatva fix my upon me buddhim intelligence nivesi apply nivasisyasi you lead my unto me, eo certainly, atah therefore, urdhvam up never samsaya doubt. Translation and purport. By his divine grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Purport. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna devotional service lives in a direct relationship with Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental. From the very beginning, a devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna, and the holy name of Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such a service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in Gita and in other Vedic literature. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for so much for participating. Hari Bol. Would you like to read another one also, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu. Actually, I feel exhausted very soon.
Okay, Prabhu. Anyone else like to participate? Vivek Prabhu, maybe?
Yes, Prabhu, I can.
Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hata chittam samadhutam na saknosi mayeshtiram abhyasya yogena tato mam ichaptum dhananjayaha. Synonyms. All atha, if therefore chittam mind, samadhatam fixing, or na not, sak no see able, my upon me Tiram, fixed. Abhyasa, practice. Yogena, by devotional service. Satha, therefore. Mam, me. Ichha, desire. Up, tum, to get. Dhananjaya, O Arjuna. Translation: My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain to me. Purport. In this verse, two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love, and the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love, and the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations which one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in the sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can be purified. Senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really loving service my master. But I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money, and the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me, so there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by the material association. Now the material association has to be purified, and the dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should under the guidance of an expert spiritual master follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna, then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam and so on. There are various rules and regulations which all should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone to rise to the level of love of God, and then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of a spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God.
Prabhu, should we continue? What time is it in India?
We can continue one more verse. It's 8:32. One more verse followed by the Shastakam and 10 offenses.
Swami Prabhu can read. Swami Prabhu didn't read, I think.
I think he can read. If he's not eating or preparing prasadam, then he can read.
Who is scrolling then?
Haribol.
Luvesh Prabhu is scrolling. Sami Prabhu, you read one verse, huh?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Abhyasephyasamritosi matkarma paramo. Oh, I mixed the word tune. Abhyasephya asamartosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhimavapsyasi. Word to word. Abhyase. In the practice of api, even asamartha, unable, asi, you are, matkarma, my work, parama, supreme, bhava, you become, matartam, for my sake, api, Even though karmani what kurvan performing siddhim perfection avapsyasi achieve. Translation: if you cannot practice the regulations of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me you will come to the perfect stage. Purport: one who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of bhakti yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice regulative principles of bhakti yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of such activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage of to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Page 6 has the prayer. एतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमः दावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकारिवितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मास्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्.
नामकारि बहुदां तत्रापितानेमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिति.
He is muted. Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu, you're muted.
नामकारि बहुदानि च सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पितान्यमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशं हैजनीननुग्रहा.
तृणादपसनिजेन तरोरपि साहित्याना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः.
नादनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिर्अहेतुकी त्वयि.
नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं परितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय.
नयनं गलदस्तुधाया वदनं गदगदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निजितं मुपो कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति.
गहितं निमेषेन चक्षुषा प्राविर्षायितं शून्ययितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे.
आश्लिष्यपादरतां पुनष्टुमाम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथ तु स एव न परः.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda, In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your costless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hair of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, filling your operations, I am considering a moment to be like failures or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like tolerance of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being pleasant before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Shri Shastakam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya
Jai,
Mahaprabhu ki jai.
jai, 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 Hari Bol.
Followed by the 10 offenses. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
You cannot jump over.
You must understand it through them. Very well.
And the Sanskrit part.
I'm
Oh,
sorry?
You have to
Oh,
chant.
you mean the Bahu, that one, right? Even if, good. Bahu Janma Kare Adi Shravana Kirtan, Tabuta Na Paya Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the holy name are as follows.
number
To
one,
blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
To disobey the order of spiritual master.
To blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in pursuance to the Vedic version.
The offense to consider the words of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
To
To
give some
give some
interpretation
interpretation
of
on
the
holy name of the Lord.
name, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Ninth offense to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
To not have complete faith in chanting of the holy name, and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to attentive or chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses. in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prem.
Now let us offer our humble obeisances unto the Vaishnava devotee of the Lord, who are just like wish fulfilling desire trees and who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they're full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Jai Radhe Vancha Kalpadrubhishta Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Thank
Jai.
you very, very